Man, this is really a complicated problem. I don't know if I can answer
Let me
this.
start out by saying that if you look at it from the top down, from the point of view of biological organisms, it looks like biological organisms are purpose-driven. In the human nervous system, that takes on questions like, do I have a soul? Does God exist? What is the meaning of life?
This is mainstream doctrine,
Why is
Joe.
there a universe?
Look
Why
up the
is
gender
there
unicorn.
awareness?
That's a fun thing to look up.
Is there truth, goodness, beauty, harmony? Is evolution merely random mutations and natural selection? Or could there be other factors? Could it be guided by awareness and behavior?
Okay, let's try this. So the way consciousness appears to me is that it's a faculty, let's say, that confronts possibility. We call that possibility, well, sometimes possibility, sometimes we call it potential, like your potential. Sometimes we call it the future.
Everything that we call matter comes from something that is not material.
So I don't see us as driven deterministically like clocks, which is apparently, I think, although I've been accused of misunderstanding Sam Harris before, but I think that's the argument that he makes. I see us instead as agents confronting a landscape of possibility. And that what consciousness does is enable us to shape that possibility
where you
into
find
actuality.
a field of possibilities,
whatever
a
it is
field
that
of
allows
pure
us to make
potentiality.
decisions.
Science doesn't call it God, but what is God if not the immeasurable potential of all that was, all that is, and all that will be?
Do you believe in God? Which I don't like that question. First of all, it's an attempt to box me in a sense. And the reason that it's an attempt to box me in is because the question is asked so that I can be firmly placed on one side of a binary argument. And the reason I don't like to answer it is because A, I don't like to be boxed in, and B, because I don't know what the person means by believe or God. And they think they know. And the probability that they construe belief and construe God the same way I do is virtually zero.
You have to stop being the jihadists and the Vatican of conservative and orthodox science, which is not relevant anymore.
Consciousness isn't exactly in your head either, even though it's local.
I think consciousness is non-local.
What you confront fundamentally in the world is what is unknowable. And what is unknowable has an intrinsic meaning. It's both frightening and compelling simultaneously. It activates predator detection systems that...
Do you think that your mathematics requires the infinite to explain things that you explain to people?
Protect you in the way that a prey animal is protected by freezing and withdrawal and that sort of thing, but it also makes you curious. So that which you do not understand, which is something that you can conceptualize as that which has not yet been made habitable world, has an intrinsic meaning.
These scientists that I work with say that awareness is a singularity, perceptual experiences are many, and the evolution of species is actually the evolution of consciousness to express itself as multiple observers, multiple modes of observation, and multiple objects of observation. We are the eyes of the universe looking at itself. This brain is the observation deck for the universe to experience itself.
What would you call it? It's a secondary manifestation of information. And I think that what we confront in the world, see, I don't think we're driven by the past or determined by the present. I think what we do is we apprehend the potential of the future, the chaotic potential of the future.
He who was the one. Now, with tea time on the mind, this is to forego a conclusion, right? It's to scare us off and convince us that a pantsuit can crush patriots. It's kind of Orwellian observing how that works.
Jesus,
that
a civilized human being.
No doubt.
Context. You are an infinite being who's taken on the identity of a physicist.
We believe, wait, I thought fast food joints? Don't you guys think that they're like of the devil or something? That's what.
So there's a way of looking at the world where the fundamental reality is the chaotic potential that gives rise to fear and curiosity. And that's how your nervous system responds, by the way.
Even the conscious being is pretending to be a physicist.
I don't know, send them to purgatory or something. So they all go vegan.
There are truths other than the literal that perhaps are more truthful than even literal truths. You know, there are many kinds of truth, and I don't mean that in a postmodern way, actually. But the truths that govern behavior and the truths that emerge from facts are not the same
GOP leaders,
truths.
by the way, you know, the man can only ride you when your back is bent. So strengthen it. Then the man can't ride you.
By the way, today is Einstein's birthday.
Reagan saved the hog. Here, your Harley Davidson. It was Reagan who saved that. In the establishment, maybe they're going to start a new hashtag movement, a hashtag Never Reagan. They don't like that.
Purposely.
To understand and oppose the postmodernists,
But
the
when you
ideas
look
by
at
which
the
they
sum
orient themselves
total
must
of
be
their
clearly
activity.
identified.
You have a
First
universe.
is their new unholy trinity
You
of
have,
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
constants
Diversity is
that
defined not by
fine-tune the
opinion,
universe to be
but
what
by
it
race,
is.
ethnicity, or sexual identity.
You have precise laws of nature
is no
which
longer
make
the laudable goal of equality of
sense to a
opportunity,
rational
but the
human being.
insistence on equality of outcome.
So I think
inclusion
even from the
is
bottom
the
up,
use of
I'm
identity
compelled to
based
say
approach to attain this
that there's an
misconceived
organizing
state.
intelligence,
All the classic
There's
rights
a
of the West
deeper
would be considered
consciousness
secondary to these new values.
that
Take, for example,
throws
freedom
out
of speech,
this universe
the very pillar of democracy.
at the speed of light.
Modernists refuse to believe that people of
Dawkins
goodwill can exchange
shows that
ideas
biological
and
organisms
their
are
world
separate from
is
the
instead
universe
a
and
Hobbesian
not as
nightmare of identity
activities of the
warring
universe.
for power.